Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here tonight to share with you on our topic powerful, empowered women in this wonderful group. The topic tonight is how to stay positive during this challenging time. So, I might just give a couple of minutes for people to jump on before I get stuck into it. But I wanted to share with you some of the tools that I use. Hi, Prabita, how are you? Some of the tools that I use to help me to stay positive and things that I have learnt over the years that I've used for myself personally in challenging times. So I know not everyone can jump on tonight. So just say hello when you do get on, and make sure you let me know that you're here because I'll be watching if questions come up as I talk to you through things. And if you're watching the replay as well, let me know that you're watching the replay. And if you have any questions, I can come back and answer them for you at a later date. So I've also made some notes as well. So if I look away a couple of times just to check that I haven't missed anything that I wanted to share with you tonight. So when I thought about talking about this topic, I thought about, okay, what do I do? And I sat with that for a little while and asked myself the question of, what do I actually do? Because I do a lot of things. And as the day has kind of gone through, I've added to my list. So the first and foremost thing that I do, and I religiously do this, is that I take time. I have a morning routine, and it doesn't take very long. As some of you might have read the bio that came with the event, I'm a mum of four girls between 14 years and 4 years. And so, yes, I am busy and I'm a teacher through the day, and I have my own businesses that I run after school hours. So, yeah, I have a lot going on. So it's really important for me to be super organized, but also have that morning routine where it allows me to set myself up for the day. So, and my morning routine, it's not long. It might be 15, 20 minutes, but it gets me into that positive mindset. And if I have more time throughout the day, I might come back to some of these things if I have more time. So the morning routine is really, really important. So one of the other things, so I had about 6 or 7 things that I wanted to share with you tonight. The first thing is journaling. Now, I know that a lot of people talk about journaling and what is it? Well, it can be different things for different people, and there's no right or wrong to journaling. It can be somewhere where you have a book where you write down your feelings and thoughts. It can be somewhere where you write your gratitudes, because gratitude is something that always will put us into that positive headspace, that positive light. Writing at least 5 gratitudes every single day, even and more so when you are feeling like you're in a bit of a pit, a bit of a hole in your life that you need to get out of or climb out of. So definitely writing gratitudes is really, really important in your journaling. Hey now, and it can be things like, I'm grateful for my health, especially during this time. I am grateful for the fact that I have 4 beautiful, healthy children. I am grateful that I have an essential job right now. And things that you are really grateful for. It could be even as simple as, I'm grateful for this time that I get to have with myself every morning. I'm grateful for a hot cup of coffee. I'm grateful for a roof over my head. Whatever it is for you that you are grateful for. Okay, so putting yourself in that positive space from the get-go of your day, really important. So you can write that in your journal. In your journal, you can also write about things that you want to be or things that you want to happen in your life, so goals. But when you write them in as though that you already have them. So, for example, you might be working towards a goal in your business, and you might write, I am achieving my goals with ease and joy. Okay, and you then might get even more specific and you might write, I'm achieving my goal of blah, 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 whatever your goal is. Okay, so your journal is basically you're unloading what is in your head. Okay, so that is one of my big things is the journaling. The second thing is, and this will be different for everybody, is your faith and your belief system. Whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Jesus, whatever your belief system is, you need to tap into that. Okay, again, this will help you to keep that positive mindset. Okay, so whatever that is for you, you need to do that. The third thing is join groups that keep you in that positive space. You know, join with like-minded women that have, you know, the same goals and morals and values that you have. That makes things a lot easier. Join groups that will, you know, is a positive space where they talk about positive things and using, you know, laughter and affirmations and I am statements and things that will make you feel good, because it's all about, you know, lifting that vibe and lifting your soul, okay, and making you feel really good. Okay, so those three, first of all, let's just recap. We've got journaling being your number one goal, where you will write your gratitudes and how you're feeling, okay, and things that you want to achieve. Your second thing is to look at your faith system or your belief system. What is it that you believe in, and really tune into that. Your third thing is joining groups, like-minded groups that will help you to keep that vibe and energy up. So number 4 that I usually do every day is I have a couple of books where I read a few pages from every day. One of them is to do with my faith, that I might read 1 or 2 pages on that. And the other is about, you know, changing your mindset on certain things and how you can do that. And it's not an onerous task. You know, I'm quite a slow reader, so I don't like to get into, you know, arduous books that, you know, seem like this massive task that you need to, you know, read. But if you read a couple of pages every morning, that gets you into that headspace, that positive headspace, that light. You know, I've learnt and I've heard, you know, that people say, you know, what you feed your mind is what you're going to then project out to the world and to the universe and to people that you hang around. So if anyone's got any other books or tips, like of great books or even audio books, if you don't have time to read, and I used to listen to a lot of audio books in the car when I was traveling a lot, you know, and they were all about your personal development and growth. Okay, all these kind of things help you to grow, help you to keep positive. So if anyone has any book suggestions, pop them in the comments below. Another great book is The 4 Agreements. Great way to think about how to be in your life and in your world. So reading really helps. The other thing is, you know, and we've heard this all before, number 5, you know, get active, get moving. Now, not everybody is a morning person. Not everyone likes to get up and, you know, start exercising as soon as they wake up. But at some point in your day, it would be great for you to get active, okay? And it doesn't have to be long or arduous. Just get out in the sunshine. Go for a walk. I've said to a few people now, you know, I think this time is going to actually make people appreciate the moments of actually getting outside and enjoying, you know, the beautiful blue skies and the fresh air and, you know, going for a walk and exercising. And people, I think, are going to be a lot healthier and fitter in this light because there are so many more people out walking. If you've noticed that, pop a comment below, because I've noticed lots of people out walking. And the other thing, my husband said to me, he went for a walk the other day and he said, people are nicer. They actually say hello to you. You know, he'd be out walking many times and people just don't say hello. So maybe in terms of being here and there for certain people, has kind of alleviated a little bit of pressure. So they're actually enjoying what they're doing. So that's 5 things so far. The other thing that I want to say to you is, we can very easily get bogged down in what is on the media, on Facebook, on any social media platforms. That's why you need to choose very carefully what you're going to, what you're going to listen to, how often you're going to be updated with what is going on, and do that as a mode, of protection for yourself, okay? Because sometimes some people handle things better than others. Sometimes it gets in your head, and then you find it difficult to get out of your head. So what I mean by that is something may trigger you. Something may be said that may make you kind of constantly thinking about it, worrying about it. And certain situations you can't control. So I guess my point here is focus on the things that you can control. Keep yourself informed. What can you control in this situation? Okay? You can control a lot of things in this situation. You can control how many times you leave the house and what you're leaving the house for. You're at home because you're keeping yourself safe. Don't look at this as a prison sentence, okay? Look at this as a positive. What can you do now that you're at home that you wouldn't have normally had time to do? Okay? It may be you've been wanting to read a book and you have never had the time. It may be that you've been wanting to go for walks, but you've never had the time. It may be that, you've had this project that you've wanted to do in the house and you've never had the time. So there are a lot of positives you can find to the flip side of what, not being in this isolation, okay? I know of a lot of friends and family that are doing little projects around their homes, that are reading and listening to books, that are taking on new projects because they now have the time to explore something that is passionate to them that they wouldn't normally have the time to do. Having said that, you can choose to sit at home and be miserable and not get up and go for a walk and not look at the positive side of things and get frustrated about the fact that we have to stay indoors. Or you can flip it and say, okay, well, if this is a situation, how am I going to deal with it? What am I going to do about it? What can I control? And that's the question that you need to ask yourself. What can you control? Okay, and there's lots of things that you can control. Hi, Vicky, joining. Does anyone have any questions or anything about what I've been talking about so far? No, everything's pretty self-explanatory. So, just to recap for people that might be jumping on now, I was just talking about the different things that you can do to help. So we've talked about journaling and how journaling and journaling about being grateful and your goals is one way to stay positive. Joining groups and being with like-minded people, reading and listening to things that help to uplift you. So that may even include music that you like to listen to, okay? Getting active, also focusing on what you can control. And the other thing is meditation or stilling the mind. Now, some people find meditation difficult and to slow down, and you're constantly on the go. Slowing down is always a really big challenge, but what I've found for me is if I choose a guided meditation, so someone that actually is talking me through meditation, it really helps me to slow my mind down, okay? Because I'm now focusing on that person guiding me through the meditation rather than the 50 million things that are popping in my head that I need to do this and I need to do that. And, like if you just sit there and close your eyes with me now and put your hand on your heart, okay, and take some deep breaths in and just still your mind. So 3 big deep breaths in. Like even just for me, just doing that just then just calmed me right. And I'm sure you felt that too. You get in touch with your inner self, right? So you really close your eyes, you feel your breath, you feel your heartbeat, and you quiet the mind, you still the mind. Really, really important. And whilst you're doing that, you can be saying affirmations to yourself. You could be doing mirror work or mirror play, as I've heard it called as well. And if you don't know what that is, it's looking at yourself in the mirror and saying affirmations to yourself. I'm a big believer in affirmations and using them. I am enough. I am worthy. I am strong. I am fearless. These are really, really great ways to get you into that good headspace. I think that's most of the stuff that I want. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to share with you. If you are, struggling right now with negative thoughts, here's a little tip for you that might help you. And it comes back to using your journaling to help you. You might have heard of this before, but it's reframing. Okay, what does that mean? So let me give you, oops, we lost you there. Or the connection, we still got. An example might be that, you might be feeling in a hopeless situation right now. This is hopeless. I've got no work. My business isn't booming, or whatever the scenario might be. Okay. Or I've lost my job, etc. Okay. And yes, they are all, definitely valid reasons to be feeling crappy. But here's a tip for you in where you can start, flipping that around. So journaling things like, I am in this space at the moment, but I will be moving towards being more active in my business. This is just, okay, so little things like that are really, really important, and just rewording and reframing. So what I want you to do is just, if you're on with me now and you feel brave enough to share in the comments something that maybe you're not feeling very positive about, that has been, coming to the surface for you during this time, jot it in the comments and I will help you to reframe that. The other thing is, if you don't want to share, that's fine. Just do it personally yourself now. And we can have a few minutes to think about other ways that you can reframe that. So it's all about flipping that negative mindset and that, negative way of thinking into a positive way of thinking. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before, think positive thoughts equals positive outcomes. And yes, that is true. However, that is not always easy. And believe me, I know I've been in situations where, it isn't as easy as pulling yourself out of it like that by flipping a switch. But the more you practice it, the better you become at it. And it's like a muscle. Okay, the more you practice, the better you get. The more you train that muscle, the stronger it gets. So you need to start becoming a bit self-aware. And I spoke about this in one of my own personal lives today. Being aware of what your triggers are and how you can flip that and be self-aware and reframe it so that it doesn't take over. Okay, so really important. Has anyone got any comments to share or any negative beliefs or things that they want to reframe? I'll just give a couple of minutes, see if anyone pops anything up. That's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But just think about how you can reframe it so that it will be written and worded in a positive way, because that's really, really important, especially when you are feeling that you are in that negative headspace. All right, so let's just recap quickly over the 7 or 8 things that I've shared with you tonight. So, some things that you can do in order to stay positive in this challenging time. First thing is journaling and writing things down in the positive, and also writing gratitudes, daily gratitudes, and some people like to do them at night as well. Look at your belief system, your faith system, and really lean into that a little bit more. Join groups that will support you during this time, that are like-minded. Read and listen to uplifting music, or read books that will help you as well. Get active, so getting out, going for a walk or going for a bike ride, whatever it is for you. Meditation, okay, so stilling the mind, using guided meditation if you find it hard to just sit and quieten the mind and take it off to a no thinking place. I'm like that. I prefer to use guided meditation, or even just simply doing what I did with you earlier, hand on heart, close your eyes and focus on breathing, and that will just slow everything down, okay? So I think I've touched on most things that I do. If you have any comments or questions, please pop them in and I'll come back to it later and I will answer your questions. But I hope that's helped some of you, and that will help you to start putting into practice how you can start to be a lot more positive in what you do on a daily basis, and getting that routine up and running really well, because that will set you off for your good. Whether it's just 3 things, journaling, affirmations and gratitude, perfect. If it's listening to music or a podcast or reading something, excellent. Whatever it is for you is right for you, okay? Because it will be different for everybody. So find what's right for you, what makes you feel good, what uplifts you, and that is where you need to be, and that is what you need to do in order to keep your energy and your positivity up. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you if you're watching the replay, and I will chat to you again soon, and thanks. Take care.